Hello viewers, here is a Vtech telephone. This is model i6772, and this telephone is experiencing the two typical problems that I see with these telephones. Number one being a display issue. See, we have a couple of dead lines on the LCD, and it's also experiencing a button issue. The buttons work, but they are kind of intermittent and not nearly as sensitive as they should be. I can press that down all the way and it just doesn't work. So the screen issue is not to the point where we're going to attempt to fix that. It's still plenty readable, and the success rate of that repair is kind of questionable, but we are going to attempt to fix the buttons. A lot of times when it comes to these telephones, especially ones that have rubber buttons, they kind of absorb oils and such on your skin, and over time they just stop working because the conductive contacts get dirty. And you can actually feel on this telephone the buttons are kind of sticky. So my suspicion is that we can just clean this dial board out and the telephone should start working again. I believe this is otherwise operating normally. I'll go ahead and ring it up here. Testing. Got the answers first. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it does appear to be working. This test phone is kind of screwed up, so we'll have to deal with that later. Anyways, dial out here just to make sure that works as well. Okay, that's working. Otherwise it looks good, so let's go ahead and begin the repair. We'll open this up. The original battery broke as I was taking that out prior, so we're going to have to get that fixed as well. I shouldn't say original battery, that's the battery it came with. So I'm using this one for the moment. And Sadie is going to join the video here. Okay, this is being a little obnoxious. There we go. Okay, now I'm not going to remove the speaker because there's just no need to. We just want to remove the board. So we have a number of screws in here that we're going to undo. And this, I believe, should give us access to the dial board. These two screws in the bottom, two screws up here towards the middle. I believe they're all the same. And then a final set of screws up here at the top. Okay, and this is the part that we want to clean. So we're going to clean the the buttons themselves. And the case is a little bit dusty, but I'm not too concerned about that. So we're going to clean two things here. We're going to clean with this stuff, and I would have preferred to use cotton swabs, but I don't have any, so we're going to have to use ticker towels instead. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these contacts here. These black lines are conductive contacts that the material on the buttons themselves will touch when you press the button. And ultimately these are what register the button press. And if these are dirty, it will not conduct correctly, and you won't get the registered press. Now admittedly these don't look like they're very dirty, so the problem may go deeper than it would seem at first, but I don't know. We're going to start here and see what happens. So that should be clean now, and now we're going to clean the board here, or the buttons themselves. These black dots have conductive material on them, and if these are dirty, they obviously won't make a good connection with the board itself, and then you would have the hard to press button issue. So I'm going to go through here and make sure each one of these little dots is very clean. And you do have to be kind of careful when you do this, because it is possible to remove the conductive material from the buttons themselves. So clean it with this Prisol fluid or whatever it is. Alcohol is good, but you don't want to use anything harsh because you can cause a damage. And you can see there is some dirt coming off of there. I believe that's just excess conductive material. It doesn't look like actual dirt. I'm not sure. Usually it has like a slick yellowish coating on it if it's really dirty from skin oils. But perhaps it just needed a little bit of cleaning for whatever reason it wants to have. Alright, so that's been cleaned now. This stuff evaporates pretty quickly, but I'm just going to go ahead and press everything dry. And you can see how sticky these buttons are, which is kind of gross. And that too I'm going to clean with the alcohol here. This is probably easier to do once the buttons are in place. But we'll try this and see if it works. If this is not enough cleaning, then we'll go ahead and put the buttons in, and then we'll clean them again. Alright, that's good enough for now. If it ends up being sticky again, now see this one you can kind of see the yellowy material up there. That's what I was talking about, the oils that can cause an issue. So let's go ahead and put this back together. I'm going to power this up outside of the case here, and we'll give it a quick test and see if it made any difference. Okay, so we got the battery plugged in. We if the standby screen has shown up on the display. And let's see if this works better. I would say that works substantially better. Okay, good, that's working. Close that out. And that seems to have solved the issue. So we can go ahead and reassemble it. Now, as far as this goes, this is sticky enough that I am going to go ahead and clean this a different way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small brush like this one, and I'm going to use some soap and water and just get all the oils off of here. Okay, the buttons have been cleaned. You can see they are no longer sticky at all, and they are ready to be put back into the telephone. Let's just do one final test to make sure everything is working, and then we will reassemble this telephone. Okay, that's checking out good. This is a little tricky to get back in here because it has this button thing on the side. So you're not battling with just locking everything into place, you're also having to make sure that this button thing goes in there and stays where it's supposed to be. Okay, that seems to be in place. So we're going to go ahead and screw this in, and then we'll be done. Okay, the screws are in place. Well, the buttons are working so well, they want to go before I can even get the battery put in. Let's get this cover. Okay. Close the headset jack, and we should be all set here. Okay, I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to call the test phone. Okay, and if you watch the display there on the box, we'll dial the numbers and you'll see that they're all working correctly. Okay. And there was no issues with transmit and receive, but we'll just check it again just to make sure. Testing, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3. There's an awful feedback. Okay. That's going to conclude this test. Or actually this repair rather. This is now functional and ready to be used.